So, Sarah, what got you interested in cosplay in the first place?
Oh my gosh. I started seeing pictures of conventions on Google, like Google Images, and I was like, what is this? And just started kind of looking into it. And I found out there was one that was going to be 3 hours away from me. And I was like, all right, that's it. I'm going. Let's go. So thanks to Google Images.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, babies in their diapers, welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.
That's me, Tiberius.
And welcome to the Tiberius Show today. And I'm your host, Tiberius Boy. And as always, we're looking at various jobs and how they affect the world around us. Today's is going to be very interesting. We're going to talk to a cosplayer and a model. Wow. Well, do you have any idea what a cosplayer does? Well, I do, because, I'm sort of a geek. But, you know what? Let's just talk to this lady and find out for sure. Let me introduce our next guest, the one, the only, the amazing Sara A. Freites. Well,
Hello,
thank you for
hello.
being on the show today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Okay, so a lot of my listeners have no idea what a cosplayer is. So, can you explain to my listeners exactly what a cosplayer does?
So, a cosplayer is someone who either makes their own costume or buys their costume and goes to conventions. You dress up as their favorite anime, video game, movie character, uh, and that's it.
So, Sarah, what got you interested in cosplay in the first place?
Oh my gosh. I started seeing pictures of conventions on Google, like Google Images, and I was like, what is this? And just started kind of looking into it, and I found out there was one that was going to be 3 hours away from me, and I was like, all right, that's it. I'm going. Let's go. So thanks to Google Images.
Wow, that's really cool. So, I've seen some of your costumes, and they're incredible. So, what was the first one that made you certain that you could do this?
Well, my very first cosplay was Lara Croft Tomb Raider. It's still my heart and soul, my favorite. And I, that was a very, it was really, really bad, but it was my introduction into cosplay. So
So, do you design your outfits, or do you pay people to help you?
I do both. It depends on what I'm working on and what I want to project and what I want. I guess it depends on what event I'm going to. And if I think I can do it, if I have the talent to do it, I will. Sometimes I collaborate with other artists. We'll do it together. So it's a little bit of both.
So, do you have any costumes that were just a fail and you won't wear anymore?
Oh my gosh, I have had costumes fall apart, and usually I fix them, but sometimes after a while I'm like, all right, this one's done. I have to just kind of give up on it. I have many of them like that. I had to get rid of that were just falling apart.
So, how do you decide who to cosplay, or what makes a character cosplay worthy?
There's two things. I have people that will tell me, "Hey, you look like so and so," or "You would be mega good so and so. You should do that." But for me, I like the strong, independent woman. So Lara Croft, Celine from Underworld. The gun-toting, awesome, strong women. That's kind of what I go for.
So, is it more fun crafting and modifying the costume, or wearing it on stage?
Oh, that's a perfect like 50-50 right there because there's awesomeness, I think, on both sides of it. Getting to create and put your own, your passion into something, and then getting to present it in front of everybody and explain how you made it, what you did, all the sides of it.
So, what is the weirdest reaction that you've received from people while you were cosplaying?
Definitely, it would be outside of a con, going to get some dinner. We're all dressed up as a group, and people are just like, "What is? It's not Halloween." Like they literally will walk by the table and go, "It's not Halloween," give you these ugly looks, and you're like, "We know it's not
So,
Halloween."
Sarah, what are your most used tools that you use when playing at a crossplay?
Hot glue and fabric glue. Those are my go-to, and when I go to cons, I bring both just in case something starts to fall apart.
Well, I hope it doesn't get too sweaty with the hot glue because it will melt and go out.
Exactly. You have to be careful with that. Yeah.
So, if
Don't throw it in
money
the
was
dryer.
like not an object, you didn't need money for it, what cosplay character would you want to do?
Oh, probably the Blood Elf armor from World of Warcraft, the Knight. Death Knight armor. If I had the talent and the time and the money to build that armor, it would. Oh,
So,
the
how did you
dream.
turn your cosplay into a business, where you get to be in birthdays or appear at hospitals for community service?
Oh, well, there's two things. The first time I ever did modeling was my friend Martheus Wade is a local comic book artist, and he hired me to be his character at cons at the booth. So they created my costume, and I started. That's how I started, and started networking. And the second part was I joined a charity group here in the Mid South, and we go to birthday parties and children's hospitals and so on. It's called Cosplay Memphis.
So, what is one thing you think kids should know about being a cosplay artist and a model?
Um, One thing you think you should know, I think you should just make sure that you do what you want to do. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Make sure you focus on you and what makes you happy and you having fun. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing.
Well, here seems like a good time to take a quick commercial break. Let's hear a word from our sponsors.
So you want to make an ad for your company, right?
Yeah, Tiberius, you want to help me?
Okay, so what's the name of the company?
PPWND.
PP what?
Professional Pressure Washing and Detailing.
So you like clean driveways?
Yeah, like that. We pressure wash commercial buildings and semi-truck and trailers.
So how would someone get a hold of you?
They can visit my site at ppwnd.com or call me at 407-900-7793.
So I just tell them to call you at 407-900-7793 or visit ppwnd.com?
Yeah, Tiberius, you got it.
Cut! That's a wrap! Just use that!
Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service, and firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com.
And we're back. You're talking with Sara, a cosplayer, model, and an author? Ooh, okay. So, Sara, tell me a little bit about your book series. I mean, you got some vampires, right?
Oh, yes. Vampires, demons, casters, creatures. These are my two books, Rise of Midnight, Book 2, Strike of Midnight. Yeah, I'm pointing the wrong way. So it's about a girl that finds out she is the reincarnation of a powerful vampire leader, and a vampire coven has kidnapped her because they need her to use powers she didn't know she had to send a demon back to hell. So
Huh.
it's going to be a five-part book series, and we're on the second book of publishing right now. So it's a long journey.
Okay. So what inspired you to make this story? I assume that it's not based on real life.
Oh yeah. Well, some of it is. It's funny you say that. I do sometimes put my life experiences in the book, but elaborated. But I had just finished watching an Anne Rice movie, and it just—I don't know. I walked away and I grabbed a notepad and pen and just started writing. It started in paper and pen, literally.
So, do you approach storytelling differently since you're an author and a cosplayer?
I feel like I do. I feel like I have a different way of words, so to speak, and different way of putting my stuff out there. So I feel like maybe it's a little bit different than everybody else's, or at least I try to think that way.
So, what motivated you to write books in a full series?
Oh gosh, well, I didn't actually think it was going to be a full series when I wrote it. It seemed like the story just kept coming to me and kept coming to me. When I finished the first book, I thought, oh well, that's it. And then all of a sudden, I found myself thinking, oh, what if this? And I started writing my ideas down, and before I knew it, it was a series, and I was like, oh, okay, this is way bigger than I thought.
So, was it hard to find someone to publish your book?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I went through a lot of rejection letters, a whole lot of researching and trying to avoid scammers and so on, and just making sure that I got with the right people. And it was a little stressful and overwhelming for sure. And it was definitely several years of doing this, of acquiring agents, acquiring publishers, and so on. So some people get lucky and get picked up right off. I didn't. It took me a while.
So, did you get to travel the world doing book signing events?
I don't travel the world, but I do travel across the United States whenever I can. Mostly in the Mid-South. I stay in the Mid-South. I haven't done anything too far away yet. So if it calls, it will, but not yet.
So, Sarah, do you ever cosplay as one of the characters in your book?
I do. I cosplay my main character, Autumn, with the. There, yeah, you can see it. Okay. I do her for photo shoots. I was her in my book trailer. Whenever I do events where I can cosplay as well, I try to cosplay her and show the book. Here I am on the cover of my book. Or it's not really me, but my character.
So, what's the hardest part about being an author?
God, sometimes just writing in general, coming up with ideas, story plotting, world building, character building. Sometimes it comes to me, and sometimes I really have to find inspiration. I think that's the hardest part, maybe, is finding inspiration to write. Sometimes you get the writer's block.
So, do you think it's better to read a paper book or listen to an audiobook?
Oh, that's hard because I like to read in my own, and make up the voices and so on in my head as I read. But when you listen to an audiobook and you listen to the acting and the accents and so on, that's a lot of fun too. So it's kind of 50-50 for me on that.
So, Sarah, what's the most misunderstood part about your work as a cosplayer?
Most understood. I think people cosplay for attention, but I feel like it's a passion. It's you want to create and build, but of course you kind of want to show off what you made or what you've been working on and so on. So I kind of roll my eyes at people that kind of make comments about people being too oh shoot, they just want attention. And I'm like, well, you have no idea what work went into this. So I think that's
It's
definitely the
fun.
biggest one. Yeah, right. It's a lot of fun. It's not. I mean, maybe some people do it for attention. I don't know, but I guess for the people that I know and for myself, it's definitely more about the process as opposed to getting the attention later on.
So, who can you say was the person that helped drive your passion the most?
Definitely my husband Dylan. He is like my biggest cheerleader, my biggest fan, my biggest whenever I need somebody to pick me back up when I'm down, he's always right there. He's like my
Yeah,
best
it's
friend.
funny. I think we interviewed him last week, and I think he said the same thing about you on that exact same question.
Oh, making me blush.
So, what's the best advice that you've ever received, and who gave you that advice?
Oh God. I think the best advice I ever got as far as writing was write what you want to write, and it was my editor. she's a dream come true. I love my editor.
So, what is the most fun thing that you can say on a kids show that you've ever done while doing your work?
Oh, at my signings, I had somebody come up to me and just kind of spill their heart and tell me how much they loved my story. And it was just really cool because you don't really, when you're a writer, you don't really hear your reviews in person. So having somebody actually kind of look you eye to eye and know that they're not lying to you and tell you how the story that you spent however many years writing and impacted their life. So that was really pretty awesome, I think.
So, why would a kid want to grow up and do your job?
I think if they're passionate about it, a cosplay and author, anything you do affects people around you. And with the cosplay, I get to do the birthday parties and go to the children's hospitals visits as Wonder Woman or Princess Jasmine, and those are my two that I usually go as. And just being able to see a kid smile and think that you're the real Wonder Woman or the real Princess Jasmine, it's I can't even explain the feeling. It's really awesome. And the same thing with writing, kind of how I mentioned how that person came up to me. Just knowing that, a story that it took me 10 years to write and people are reading it now and they're having such awesome responses and they come and tell you their stories of their life and so on. So I think as long as if you're passionate about it, you should definitely go for it, whatever it is. Just do it. Just do your thing.
Well, on that note, let's take a quick break to pay some bills.
The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of their dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering to trophies and awards. The cool part about Custom Designs is they can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373 and tell them that
Tiberius
sent you.
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org.
And we're back here with Sara, cosplayer, artist, model, author, and so much more. So, Sara, what are your plans for the future?
Oh my gosh, so cosplay wise, I think I've kind of slowed down on making costumes because I've started running out of space. So I definitely probably revisiting a lot of my older cosplays and updating them and adding more to them and so on. And as far as writing goes, we are on my third book right now in the editing process, so that's going to take a while. And we plan to publish that next year. So every year I'll be publishing a new book.
2026 is going to be a big year. I can just feel it.
Ooh, I'm already sweating thinking about it.
So, what is that one thing that happened in your career that you just didn't expect?
To get picked up by a publisher, that really blindsided me because I had been trying, like I talked about, for several years. So when it happened, I almost didn't go and sign the contract because I was like, no, this can't be happening, right? I don't know. It was one of those things where you just kind of blank out. You're like, is this real? Am I dreaming?
So, when you're cosplaying, do you get stopped by security for your weapons and accessories?
I have, yes, especially with my now of course my guns always have the orange tip on them, but there was a point that when I first started I didn't know better, so walking into the con they do put
tip,
they put the zip tie on the trigger because mine were airsoft so they actually could shoot.
Oh yeah.
And the tip, they didn't come with the orange, or maybe they did come with the orange tips, and I just was like, why would I want that, in my photos? So, but yeah, they were like, oh yeah, we have to put zip ties on those. And then I've had swords before where they have to come and just make sure they're not really sharp at the tip and stuff like that. So, or tag it just so that other people can see the big orange bow on it, like, okay, it's fake, or it's, it's not going to hurt you.
So what's the best part about the work that you do?
Definitely the impact on other people for me. I have a lot of fun doing the processes on both the cosplay and writing, going through making the costume, doing the edits, so on. But at the very end, when everything's done, just seeing somebody smile or hearing their story definitely makes it all worth it for me.
So if I, a kid watching right now, wanted to get into cosplay, what was the first skill that you would learn that you should develop in order to do it?
For me, making props. A lot of my cosplays involve prop making. So I got really familiar with, like I said, hot glue and fabric glue, but also craft foam. I think craft foam is very, very cheap. It is your best friend. Just watch out for heat because it will unbend. If you bend it, use heat to bend it. You'll just have to be careful with that. But definitely for sure, any kind of prop making, and there's so many tutorials on YouTube now. If you want to learn how to do this, you could just go on for free and look on YouTube. There's so many people sharing their talents and their information. That's how I learned. I went on YouTube. I was like, here we go. Let's see.
So what have you learned about yourself that you wish that you knew earlier?
That I'm stronger than I think I am. I know I talked about kind of being down on myself a lot sometimes. But I've been through a lot in my personal life and even in my career on both sides. So, and I've learned that I'm resilient, and I never thought that I was. So it makes you feel strong.
So if you could change anything to make your job easier or better, what would it be?
I actually wouldn't change anything because I think I need the challenge sometimes. I need the structure. I need to face a boundary that I think I can't go any further, because when I do, then I can look back and go, oh well, no, I did it. So I should never be afraid to face, something that's going to end up being a bad thing. So I really wouldn't change anything.
So if you could go back in time and give your 14-year-old self advice, what would it be?
Stop doubting yourself, go forward and do it. Just don't stop telling yourself all these negative things. Just do what you want, have fun at it.
So Sarah, on your off time, besides writing, what are your favorite things to do for fun?
I love to draw. I love makeup. I love to do different types of makeup looks. I love wigs. I love styling wigs. Collecting. I wish I could show you now. I have a huge collection of Lara Croft action figures and little trinkets and so on right behind the camera. And playing piano and violin. I don't have an actual piano. It's a keyboard and an electric violin.
Huh.
And video games. I love video games. I'm a big gamer.
So what's your favorite video game then?
Definitely Tomb Raider, of course. But I got a whole lot of other ones. I love Skyrim and Oblivion, those older games, Elder Scrolls. I used to love World of Warcraft. Haven't played in a while, but I was really big into the grind on that one. My husband's gotten me to The Witcher, so there's so many good ones.
So what's your favorite book to read other than your own?
Oh, Interview with the Vampire. I love that. That's the reason write vampires. I just had I love the vampires, man.
So what was the biggest mistake that you've ever made, and how did it change you as a person?
I think rushing into something I wasn't ready for, it made life a lot harder for several years, but also it was a learning lesson too. So I think that, sometimes you do have to go through those hard, big, bad mistakes or hard times in life. And they really do. I know it's really cliche to say, but they do shape you as a person and they help you deal with things later on in life too. So yeah, there are mistakes, but everybody has them. So it's not like you're the only person in the world that's ever messed up or had something bad happen to them. So.
Okay. Now, can you tell me that one story? Remember, this is a kid's show. But that one story, that you're not supposed to tell me about. Come on, you can tell me.
So this was before I was cosplay modeling. I was just modeling. I'm too short for the runway, so the event host had given me these really tall heels to wear so I would match the other girls on stage. And I get up there and I'm walking on the catwalk, and I should have known this was going to happen. My ankle and I fell in front of all these people. And I mean, it was, oh my God, there was doctors and lawyers and all these, it was for an eyeglass company, and we were modeling glasses and so on. And I mean, just fell, and I just kept rolling. So I went and I rolled, and I tried to make it look like I was just like doing this dance. It was so awkward and so bad. I got up and just turned and walked away. And when I went backstage, all the girls were like, I've never seen anybody recover from rolling their ankle quite like that, but you did a really good job. And I think they were just trying to make me feel better because it was bad.
So is there anything else you think my listeners should know about you and what you do?
I do like to act. I have a lot of fan films, Tomb Raider fan films, Mario, like gaming fan films on YouTube. Mesa Studios, I'm going to give them a bump. Mesa Studios on YouTube. If anybody wants to check those out.
So do you have a Facebook or a website for my listeners who want to follow you in your cosplays?
So you can go to my official author website. It's author Sara A Freites.com. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook as Sapphire Art for my cosplays, but I also put my book stuff on there. It's SAFIRE_art. So Sapphire Art, IG, Facebook, and TikTok.
Okay. So what's that one question that you think I forgot to ask you?
Forgot to ask about my writing process. What inspires me as I write? I guess for me is music. I like to listen to music when I write, but nothing with words. It has to be like instrumentals, like electronic or symphony music to keep me it helps me visualize the scenes in my head as I write it, and it keeps me flowing. I think I can listen to music as I go.
So, thank you, Sarah, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
I do. I'm bad at math, but I'm ready for it. Let's go.
Okay.
Aw, Dad, my computer's slow again and I can't play my games.
Call your computer solutions today, and we will scan for viruses and clean that computer up remotely and make it fast again. Our phone number is 407-826-0810.
Thanks, Dad. My computer's fast again. Now I can do my homework. Thanks for calling your computer solutions at 407-826-0810.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners!
And thank you, Sarah, for helping me with Math Corners. This week, we're just more multi-step word problems. My dad is always good at finding new problems for me to solve, and today, we're going to talk about cosplay photos. You know, because you're a cosplayer. So, Susan is a cosplayer that's dressing in outfits that are very popular. Now, everyone wants to have photos with her. So, on average, it will take 3 minutes to make the pose and chat with the person and have their friend take the photo. So, Susan is trying to enjoy a Comic-Con and was dressed up in her cosplay outfit. The convention was 8 hours long, and she wants to spend at least 4 of them with her friends looking at cool stuff. But over the event, over 100 people stopped her to take photos. So, how long did she spend taking photos, and will she have enough time to spend with her friends?
300 minutes. Don't ask me how many hours that is. And I don't know as far as how many more minutes she has left of the con.
Well, this is a world problem because you do have to, budget time to have fun, but it's also kind of unrealistic because, you have to take time for your fans, when they have time for you, or at least you won't continue to have fans. So first, you have to take the 100 people and times that by the average of 3 minutes each. So 300 minutes. You got that one, right? That was pretty easy. Now divide that by 60 to get the hours. So 6, 5. So it's about 5 hours. Uh-oh. The convention's only 8 hours long, and I don't think they're going to extend it by an hour just for Susan. So if she's going to keep her fans happy, she's not going to have enough time to spend with her friends. She will only get 3 hours with her friends because 5 hours are spent with her fans.
Sometimes you gotta make sacrifices.
So, Sarah, do you run into issues when you're at conventions where you don't have a lot of time for yourself, or do you keep a change of clothes? That way you can just look like everyone else.
Yeah, I definitely try to carry a bag full of stuff that I think I might need that I'd have to run out for. So, like, if a change of clothes is definitely something I have in my bag. Makeup touch-ups, snacks, water bottles, chargers for my phone or iPad, little knickknacks, to keep me from having to get up from the table, because I really hate to have to get up and leave for X amount of time and miss possibly somebody coming by and looking for me.
So my teacher said that I would use math every single day. How do you use math with your work?
I try really hard not to, but the biggest thing I have to use it for is sales, as far as selling my books and bookmarks, some of my merchandise and so on with prints. I have to do the whole cost to print. How much am I spending on these prints? So how much should I sell them for so I'm actually making a profit? So that's, bust out my calculator on my iPhone real quick.
I thought you were going to say measurements, which is a great one.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's definitely part of it, too. Get my little measuring tape out. For sure. Oh, God. Don't make me think about that right now.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for your help with Math Corners.
Thank you.
And now it's time for the Heart of a Lion. As you know, we talk about the qualities of living by the heart of a lion, which stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility. This week, we're going to talk about nobility. For me, I think nobility is remembering we are God's special possessions and acting in a noble way, showing courage and honor. The qualities of nobility are goodness, virtue, honor, generosity, and selflessness. So my dad and I were driving home from a long day at the office. Now, I had made $10 that day for helping him with some clients. Now, as we drove by a park, we see a homeless guy laying on the hot floor with his dog. It was a hot day, like 101. And I knew he was likely thirsty and hungry, so I asked my dad if he could pull over, and he looked at me confused. I got out of the car and gave the guy a water bottle and my $10. So I wanted him to at least have a meal, you know? I can make $10 any other day. But Sarah, do you have an example of nobility that you saw this week?
I actually did. I follow our local police department's Facebook page, and I saw where a little mother duck had accidentally, or I guess she led her babies into a sewer drain, and so the police were having to pull up the sewer drain and get all the little babies and then relocate them to where they came from to keep them from crossing over on the street and so on. So poor little ducks, but I'm glad they got saved.
So, Sarah, of all of the Heart of a Lion virtues, which is the one that you see the most?
I think nobility. I try to keep my friend circle kind of tight, and I like to think that I try to keep noble people. People are honest and so on around me. So I always see their acts on Facebook, what they're doing for the community or what they're doing for other people and so on. So I definitely think that's nobility.
Well, we should always try to be lion strong in everything we do, shouldn't we?
Amen to that.
And that's our show, folks. I want to thank the one, the only, the amazing Sara A. Freites for being on my show. It has been so much fun talking to you today. I think we learned a lot about your work as a cosplayer, model, and author.
Thank you so much for having me. I was honored and excited and nervous, but didn't have to be nervous at all. You guys are awesome.
Do you mind giving your social media and website again?
Oh, yes, author SaraAFreites.com. You can find me on YouTube for my acting at Sarah Freites Scott, or you can look up Mason Studios, too. It's on his YouTubes. And then my Instagram, TikTok, and my other Facebook is Sapphire Art, SAFIRE Art, Sapphire Art.
Well, also you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at The Tiberius Show, and I would like to thank WWPR 1498 AM, Canton 98, Soul Radio 24/7, Easy Way TV, and all the other stations that air my show. And please do visit The Tiberius Show on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. So, Sarah, are you subscribed yet?
Give me 5 seconds.
Okay. That's exactly what your husband said. Well, this week, David Blacklock says, very good episode. Kind of puts a cap on the whole series. And Emma Thompson 1438 says, Enzo, while nobody here -Y2K replies, what? So, Emma and Enzo, I know you two both personally. I don't know what's up with you guys, but you know what? Thank you everyone for your comments, and be sure to leave a comment on my videos, and I might even mention yours at the end of the show. Also, be sure to listen to us next week on The Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy!